I'd like to call the special meeting of Council to order. Welcome to the July 13th special meeting. I'd like to first recognize that we are gathered on the traditional territory of the Coast Salish people, including the Tsinawas and Snuneymuxw First Nations. Our clerk today will be Sheila Gurry. We don't have any councillors attending electronically. Today's special meeting of council is being held in accordance with the Community Charter and Council Procedure Bylaw 2018, number 7272. If during the meeting any member of the gallery has a question regarding an agenda item, please write down your name on the agenda item on the question period sign-up sheet, which is on the table by the double doors to my right. Please note that the Council Procedure Bylaw states that questions will only be taken on reports, consent items, or other business items. Not seeing a substantive audience here today, we'll skip the warnings about behavior. First item on the agenda is the introduction of late items. We have none. A motion for adoption of the agenda. Moved Councillor Thorpe, seconded Councillor Perino. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. The only business we have is consideration of a deferred motion re Seacliff Properties Sandstone Ltd request for a letter of support, rebuild community strong fund direct delivery system. And Mr. Lindsay, you're going to say a few words about that.
Thank you, Worship. And part of the deferral was, I think the council the other night had some questions of staff. So appreciate the opportunity just to go away a little bit and do a little bit more research. And I'll turn it over to Ms. Mercer just to give you a little bit of update on what we've heard.
Thank you very much. Ms. Mercer, please.
Thank you. So as you know, under the Building Canada Strong Fund, there are 3 streams. The first one being the community stream, and that hands out about $27.8 billion over 10 years. And this was formerly known as the Gas Tax Fund, and more recently, the Canada Community Building Fund. Now, the city automatically receives annual funding under this program. And so there's no application process to this one. And based on the rules around this fund, we cannot fund a public works yard or community works yard under that stream. The second stream is the provincial and territorial stream, which is $17.2 billion over 10 years. And this is provided through a bilateral agreement with the federal government and the province or territory. And under this stream, there's $5 billion dedicated to hospital and housing funding. So there's nothing directly applicable under that stream at this time. And the third stream is the direct delivery stream, and that's $6 billion over 10 years. And there are 3 subcategories to this stream: the local infrastructure projects, the climate adaptation projects, and regionally significant projects. So there is no specific set aside dollars for each of these subcategories under the direct delivery stream. Applications are assessed based on their alignment with the program objectives, eligibility requirements, project readiness, demonstrated need, and other program considerations. So our application will be assessed on its own merits against the program's objectives and requirements. And similarly, that is held true for the developer-led applications as well. So we may be individually categorized into one of those 3 subcategories, but ultimately we're all competing for the $6 billion over those 10 years. So that's the information that I have. Happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Any questions from council before we hear from the delegation? Not seeing anyone. Mr. Jardin, good afternoon. Come on up to the mic. If you can introduce yourself for the record, you'll have 5 minutes. When there's a minute left, I'll let you know. I know no one's asking me for my technological assistance.
Wonderful.
little longer than 1 minute.
Good to go.
Please.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Thank you for providing me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Georgia Desjardins, and I'm the Vice President of Development with Seacliff Properties. I'm here today to respectfully request Council's support for our application to the Government of Canada's Build Community Strong Fund for the proposed Duke Point interchange. Now, I know we're all well familiar with Sandstone project as a whole, but just a 2-second summary. Sandstone is a 600-acre master plan community located in the south end of Nanaimo, adjacent to the Duke Point and Trans-Canada Highway corridors. The location is strategically important, not only for our project, but for the broader region. It sits immediately adjacent to one of Vancouver Island's most important transportation and logistics corridors and the expanding Duke Point port. The infrastructure is much more than access to a development. It improves safety, traffic flow, goods movement, and supports future industrial, commercial, and residential growth throughout South Nanaimo. Now, why is Seacliff applying? Of course, the interchange is tied to the Sandstone development, and Seacliff is prepared to make a very significant investment, capital investment toward the delivery of this infrastructure. However, because the infrastructure provides benefits well beyond our project, including improved transportation efficiency, regional economic growth, and support for a federally significant port, we believe federal participation is entirely appropriate. This is a partnership, private investment delivering public infrastructure. Now, just quickly, not to repeat, but our request is that Council provide a letter of support for our application for funding assistance toward the proposed Duke Point interchange, a vital piece of infrastructure with regional benefits. Why does this support matter from Council? The most important point we'd like to clarify is that supporting this application does not reduce the city's opportunity to receive federal funding. Since the last Council meeting, we've taken additional steps to confirm this directly with the Government of Canada. Following our discussion, oh, did I move that? Excuse me, sorry. Well, I can leave it here. Following our discussion, our government relations advisors spoke directly to the Minister's office regarding the structure of the Build Community Strong Fund. They confirmed our understanding that the direct delivery stream contains 3 separate categories, including one specifically for regionally significant projects under which we're applying. They've also confirmed that Sandstone's application would not compete against any of the city's municipal-led applications. Their response confirmed that supporting our application creates an additional opportunity to bring federal infrastructure funding to Nanaimo. It does not compete with, reduce, or affect the city's own funding priorities. Ultimately, Council's support helps position Nanaimo to access more federal investment in pursuing opportunities through separate funding streams designed for different types of projects. So again, just quickly, these are just straight from the website. As already touched on by staff, there's the direct delivery stream under which we're applying, and there are municipal-led applications. Within that, there are 3 distinct project substreams, and as you'll see circled in yellow here, we are applying under the regionally significant projects, a category the city is not pursuing applications under. Within this, here's just a further definition that the regionally significant projects are unique assets to deliver broader economic benefits beyond the immediate location, and it's our responsibility to identify in the eligibility criteria and within our application which substream we are applying within. And again, a really important point here to again reinforce the difference between our applications and the city's own applications under this stream is that regionally significant projects must consider private sector investment. So therefore, the city, I don't believe, at least under the local infrastructure ones, that there is any private sector investment considered. That is being considered within a distinct substream within the bucket of the direct delivery stream. So risks of inaction. If the interchange is delayed, the impacts extend well beyond our development. Delivery of more than 220 acres of employment lands, industrial land, commercial space, and housing would be significantly delayed. It would also reduce the region's ability to capitalize on the continued growth of the Dew Point Port and surrounding industrial areas. Construction jobs, long-term employment, municipal assessment growth, and substantial private investment would all be postponed. Construction costs also continue to rise, making early delivery increasingly important. There's also, on the flip side, a number of benefits that we see for the city considering support of this, including the project delivering significant long-term public benefits, accelerating industrial land delivery, supporting continued expansion around Dew Point, improving transportation safety and traffic operations, creating both construction and permanent jobs in the city, and expanding Nanaimo's long-term tax base. And importantly, thank you, it leverages substantial private investment while attracting new federal dollars. I'm just going to, cut to the chase here, but before I conclude, I'd also like to recognize that the concern from council expressed in the previous meeting, we understand that council's priorities continue advocating for the city's own applications. If it would assist council, we'd also be supportive of a revised letter of support that clearly reflects those priorities while also recognizing that Sandstone's application is being submitted under a separate funding category. For example, the letter could state, the city recognizes that the Build Community Strong Fund includes multiple application categories intended to support different types of infrastructure projects. While council's primary advocacy remains focused on the city's own applications under the local infrastructure substream, council also supports Seacliff's application under the regionally significant project substream on the understanding that the applications are being evaluated separately and do not directly compete with one another. We believe this language, such as this, accurately reflects the program, acknowledges council's priorities, and also confirms that supporting our application does not come at the expense of the city's own funding requests. I assume I'm out of time.
Yes, sure. Thank you. And we do have questions. Councillor Armstrong, please.
Thank you. I have three, if that's okay. The first one is, do you already have your funding ready so that you would be shovel ready to go as required?
Thank you, through your chair, to Councillor Armstrong. Yes, I mean, between Seacliff's private investment, Seacliff is unable to fully fund an interchange of this magnitude by ourselves. So with federal funding supporting us, yes, we believe we have the funding stack available to us to proceed forward.
My second one, have you consulted with the SFN and what is their take?
Yes, we continue to keep in close contact and communication with SFN throughout the evolution of the Sandstone project. We did recently meet with SFN leadership within the last couple of weeks to discuss our pursuit of this funding and also provide an update on our application. I don't want to speak for them, but it was a very positive and productive conversation. They indicated they understood the importance of the interchange and verbally expressed their support in our pursuit of this.
And if you don't get this, what happens?
Through your chair to Councillor Armstrong, the implications of not receiving this funding, would be a significant delay in the delivery of the Sandstone project and that it getting underway. As I mentioned, we are not able to fund this infrastructure ourselves, so it would mean a significant delay in the project commencement and all of the corresponding benefits that would come to Nanaimo as a result of seeing the Sandstone project move forward. As part of this delay, I think part of our work would be going back, restarting discussions and investigations with the Ministry of Transportation about what an at-grade solution could look like, i.e. a signalized intersection on the Dew Point Highway. So again, a number of concerns with that, but that would have to be part of our investigation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Perino.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a question through you to Mr. Jardin. I'm just wondering, do you have any idea what the cost is for that interchange?
We're currently estimating approximately in the $30 to $40 million range.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
And what would the cost of an intersection be roughly?
We're expecting probably about half of that.
And Highway's position is they wanted interchange. Through your chair. Yes, we've been working closely with both the city and their staff. Thank you for the countless hours, as well as the ministry since the day this rezoning was completed in May of 2024. Our first task was really tackling the access egress topic around
the Duke Point intersection. Through that exercise, extensive investigations were undertaken with the ministry around the implications of an at-grade signalized solution, of which there were issues identified around capacity constraints as the region continues to grow, safety, freight movement. This is a major corridor, and stopping trucks, heavy loaded trucks at grade was identified as a concern. Future expansion costs, acknowledging that it's not a timeless solution. So there would be throwaway money put into a signalized to then get transferred to an interchange long term. And sort of acknowledgement that this is a regionally important traffic corridor with an actively expanding port. And so I think we're all hoping that that port and the federal government is continuing to invest in port growth and diversification, especially as sort of the broader geopolitics continue to evolve. So long answer, but yes, we looked at at-grades intensely. We looked at actually also exploring use of existing infrastructure in that area as well as a possible solution. So the Wilkinson Underpass is sort of east down the highway. What could we have done? It was a very collaborative exercise, and everything led back to a proposed interchange here. I can assure you it's not a recommendation taken lightly on our side either. It's a significant investment.
I may have some more questions, but Councillor Armstrong has another. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So but realistically then, the fastest and cheapest solution would be a signalized intersection on the Duke Point Highway.
I mean, it's hard I am not the authority having jurisdiction, so it's hard for me to comment on that. I mean, through our discussions with the ministry, there are a number of challenges that would have to be addressed that could add significant time and cost to that option. I am of the belief it is not in the best interest of anyone to pursue that. I would venture to guess the ministry is aligned on that statement, but again, I can't speak for them.
Okay. Anyone else? Thank you very much. Appreciate your presentation this afternoon.
Thank you for your time.
Councillor Perino, question for staff?
Thank you, Your Worship. A question for staff. The discussion around rephrasing the letter of support. I'm just wondering what the feeling is around that. I realize it's just a huge problem for us, but I just, Ms. Desjardins brought up the idea of rephrasing the letter. I'm just wondering what the thought was.
Mr. Lindsay.
Your Worship, just hearing about it this afternoon, my first thought it was an interesting compromise to try to allow the project to proceed, the support to proceed, but still reconfirming that where our priorities are as a city.
Exactly. So you're saying it could be done, possibly? I'm just not quite understanding what you're.
Could we send a letter of support as is suggested? Absolutely, council could do that.
Yes.
If that was what you wanted to do.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Councillor Thorpe.
Thank you, Your Worship, through you. And thanks also to the delegation. I think I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think we all recognize the importance of the South End traffic situation and future solutions. I always struggle when we get last minute changes or I'll call them motions on the fly. And now I'm hearing about possibly a different form of letter than we originally were discussing. And in fact, what caused this issue to be deferred until today. So it just makes me wary and hesitate because now I'm hearing this for the first time. I would be supportive of the Sandstone project letter, but only on the condition that it in no way indicated that that was a priority over our own city projects. So if a letter could be worded in such a way, then I might be prepared to support it. It's an interesting compromise, as Mr. Lindsay just termed it. So I need to think about that for a minute, but let me make it clear, in my mind, the city projects come first. They are the top priority, and I will not do anything that jeopardizes them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Good comments. Amy.
Councillor Armstrong.
Thank you. I understand that, but this is what Ms. Darjean said was what I heard at FCM, that they are separate, that one is not going to impact the other. I know staff has heard differently, but I heard the same thing from the government spokesperson. If you're going under this stream, it won't, you can apply for all three streams and it won't have an impact because they're looked at separately. So I did hear that. So I don't see, my personal belief is it wouldn't hurt to do both because they're going to separate streams. So that's an important thing for me. The other very important thing for me, and this is where I'm going back to my years of policing, is the number of people that die at lights. We see it every year here. We see the backups on Northfield, how terrible it is. This is huge economic benefits. To put a light in at the Duke Point, basically just past the Duke Point Ferry Terminal, is going to be nothing but problems. That is the main truck route for Vancouver Island, the main route that was deliberately set by the province for that. I think for me, and I understand where Councillor Thorpe's coming, but for me, it's a far bigger priority to get that because of the number of deaths that we see on our highways and significant injuries. And not only that, when I did my research under that funding, like the number 3 stream that she's referring to, 30, actually that was the most accessed thing was for roads. That's what the government picked time and time again, was for road infrastructure. So, but my other option that I would, and I've talked to Mr. Dargelet about that, is that, you know, the First Nations can also go on board. I did have brief conversations where they're at on that, because that is something that's significant to them too, because a lot of their members will be using that. But I think if all three of us had letters of support, we would definitely get the dollars. But that's just my thoughts. I won't make any motions at this time because I know more people want to speak.
Ms. Gurry.
Thank you, Your Worship. So because you've heard from staff about the feedback that was requested and from Ms. Desjardins, the motion that you deferred could be put on the floor. And to Councillor Thorpe's point, if council did wish to make an amendment to that motion, you could make an amendment to that motion. So I think staff are just bringing up what the actual motion that was deferred was, that would be back on the floor for consideration, and it could be amended should council choose to do so.
So the motion is on the floor. If someone cares to make an amendment. Councillor Eastmere?
We're making this amendment where it's,
If you, do you wish to make an motion to amend?
I think so. I think I'm hearing support for that, so that we would have a letter that clearly lays out the order of the city's priorities. So provide a letter of support for the application to the Build Communities Strong Fund direct delivery stream that specifically mentions the other 2 projects that the city has applied for, reiterate that those are our priorities, but that we do support in principle this moving forward as well.
Councillor Armstrong,
I'm just wondering if it should say because they do break it down under 3 funding streams, and that would be under 3 regionally significant projects.
Just to clarify, it's a category, not a stream. So it's the direct delivery stream, and then there's 3 subcategories under that, but it's the same stream.
Yeah, but they're.
It's a subcategory.
Desjardins, that they would be assessing each of them separately with a set amount going to each. That's all I'm saying. And I go by.
Yeah, our staff heard that it's the same stream, 3 subcategories that will be considered separately, but it's the same money stream that comes for the 3 categories. It's the same stream of money that is used for those categories. So we would just want to make sure it said the correct category,
which is number 3.
is there a second? Ms. Gurry, are you satisfied with what's been said in terms of the wording of a motion?
Yes, I think I am. Yes, thank you, Your Worship.
Seconded, Councillor Armstrong. Discussion on this? If not, all those in favor of the amendment? Councillors Armstrong, Eastmere, Mayor Krogh, Councillor Thorpe, Councillor Perino, Councillor Manley. Those opposed, Councillor Gesselbrock. Oh, sorry.
We're all in
It's
support.
unanimous. All right, we're back on the main motion.
As amended, yes. Thank you, Your Worship.
Councillor Prino?
Thank you, Your Worship. Just, I guess I'm just wanting to make sure that staff are comfortable with where we're at before we vote for this, and that it gives you enough. And I know you know this stuff blindfolded, but I'm just wanting to make sure that we're covered off. We want to be supportive, obviously, of this project for many reasons. I mean, this goes without saying, but we have to support our own projects that we've got already in the queue. So have we got enough with this to vote in favor of it?
Through your worship, to Councillor Prino, yes, I think it's clear for staff. I think most importantly, it allows the developer's proposal to go forward as an application with the required support from this table, but at the same time allows us to reiterate our priorities are the applications that are coming from the city. So,
Excellent.
thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, Councillor Eastbeer?
Thank you. And I just want to say I really appreciated where staff were coming from in terms of the logistics of the funding and the realities that there is a scarcity of funding and that we have priority projects. And I also appreciate that this project for Seacliff is also a priority and that you have important partners with the nation and the port who are on board with that. And I just feel from a karma standpoint, like if we don't support one, and somehow like energetically that affects the other ones, and it's just like it's Murphy's law, right? Like if we don't support it, then we won't get any money anyway. And then if we do support it, then maybe none of us will get something, or maybe the best case scenario is we all three projects get prioritized. And there's a world I believe in where that is possible because these are all critical projects to move forward. So at the end of the day, I appreciate that we've come to an understanding and we'll be able to reiterate our priorities for the city and also support our development partners in this. So I think this is a win, and hopefully we will celebrate more funding flowing into the community as a result.
All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. I can safely assume there's no question period, Ms. Gurry. Motion to adjourn, Councillor Armstrong, seconded Councillor Perino. All those in favor? Any opposed? None. Motion carries. Thank you very much, everyone.